tell me who can use or who knows how to use this type of devices at home? Okay, so almost half. That's good. So nowadays we are suffering a transition between wearables and sensors. So we get more used to use technologies. And this particular project is how to use IoT technologies in healthcare. So we have an initiative in Europe, which is called AHA, Active Healthy Aging. So we have more than 60% of the population aging in Europe, which is in somehow concerning. But also there is a report in the European states that we can live more. So this is a good news. So we are living more. So but at the same time, this is a problem because the healthcare system is not prepared for that. So now I have a problem with this. You see, technologies are not always for serving people. So I don't know what's happening. So one of the major problems in today's society is technologies. We are not associating technology with daily life, and this is one of the major problems. So technology are not always easy to adopt or easy to use. And in Active Age, which is one of the projects that we are participating, we have this as a major challenge. Many of you have been at home and have problems with health. You go to the hospitals and you have to wait for hours in the queuing. And sometimes you get the point with the doctor and say, you have nothing, really, go back home and stay at home calm. In our unit, in our institute, in UIG, we do a lot of activities in terms of health, in terms of data analytics, in terms of IoT devices, in terms of internet. And all these ones are completely disassociated areas that now we are trying to bring together towards this activity. This is just a knowledge to my team, so they are really the ones that work. I just present the results. And what we do is exactly this one. So we have devices, so we have web technologies, we have information, and we put everything together. And one of the major challenges in here is especially meaning of all this information. So many of you have mobile phones, smartphones, and many of you have also gadgets that most of the time you have to use 3 or 4 applications, or maybe 3 or 4 phones. I have 2 phones, one from Irish number, one from Spanish number, always carry with me, and always replicating the same information. So this is the meaning of generating data. And imagine this one, in the past I used to have 3, one from my home country and one from each country where I am visiting. So this is important to be aware of this one. So in terms of semantics, what we do is combining all these aspects in health. So these are the areas that we touch in this, I will touch in this presentation very fast. Semantics, semantic web, analytics, machine learning, linked data, recommender systems, and of course connecting health and life science, which is the main objective of this conference, mobile health. So with no more preamble, I will start my technical part with this chasing sentence, right? As I said, we're aging. So Europe is aging, and it's going to be more than 60% that will be aging. So we are living more. So this is the most important aspect of living in Europe. So quality of life is getting better. But in terms of services, there is a contradiction. We don't have better services in health. So active aging well implies all this technology to facilitate our life, improve our living. So this is just a timeline on the bottom. You can see general healthcare services in the past. Now we are facing the personalization of these healthcare services, and then we will go for preventive services. So this is kind of an evolution. In the beginning, we started with electronic records. Remember, you go to the doctor, you have to ask for your file, they start to record everything by hand. Nowadays, is everything based in digital information. So digital system, digitization. Then you have the connected systems. When you go to the doctors, when you go to the laboratories, when all your information is linked together. The evolution of this one is what we are trying to discover in Active Age. So what will be the active information that you will be carrying with you? In the future, you will not have any more files in the storage. You will carry on your storage in here, or in use devices. You go to the doctor, download all the information in real time, and push this data. At the moment, I am carrying on blood pressure with me. I am carrying on my watch that measures BMPs. I'm carrying on my calorimeter. I'm carrying on also the pacemaker. Sorry, BMPs. So this is what's going to happen for everyone. I also have a tracking system when I am jogging. But you see, this is what we are doing every day. And every day people are doing it more and more because this is the technology it can do for us. After doing this analysis, not intentionally, I discovered that we have the ABCD of health. We are not using bionics health, not because we don't have it. It's because there are regulations, there are legal gaps that we cannot cover so fast. Embedded technologies, inserts, or something like that is not allowed yet, but will come. And this is what we are doing in ActiveAge. Convergence of technology. So from the past, hardware, services, and software was separated. Now it's together in technology. And in healthcare, we are doing this connected health analysis. So we have software on the top. We have these big data, these computing systems helping us to do health, more efficient analytics. And from the hardware side, we have these sensor networks, these devices that were in the past very fast. Is this something new? It's not really. It's not really something new. I remember back in 1998, I got this device. It's a Samsung, supported by Adidas. It has not internet, but it has an application that can measure the VMPs and my activity, my calories, exactly what I'm doing with the other devices. But this one was very premature, was not successful because it was too early in the market and very expensive. Believe me, very expensive. Nowadays we have simple technologies like iPhones or Android phones. This is an iPhone, and I can easily see my bit rates. Yeah, I can see my calories, my bit rates that I am putting here. I can also see with this one. It's an Android device. For those ones that doesn't like iPhones, then you can use Android. Yeah. What I have here is precisely the BMPs. So I can measure here my BMPs in real time with this one. And all this information can be pushed into the cloud, right? So what is the problem in here? We are going to this way. So we are going to have these devices embedded in one device, attached over, and when the biomedicine and biotechnologies are more regulated, we can attach devices. Microneedles is a very good technology. Without many intrusion of the body, you can already sense glucose, already sense biometrical functions. But this is kind of a visionary perspective. Let's be realistic. Let's go back to the reality. So this is the influence of will, the healthcare. So this is something that you are more expert than me or than us in the group, because we are not medical group. But in here, what it represents is that the balance of our life is based on these aspects. And each of these aspects affects the other ones. So it's a balance of will. And we are not dealing with healthcare. So this is something that I would like to clarify. We are not medical doctors, so we do research, we do technologies, and we focus on this well-being. So we prevent to reach that point. And to maintain the health, we obviously use these IoT technologies. I will not go into the definition of health. This is kind of well known by you and for everyone. But I will emphasize the will of well-being. So we have experiences, we have use cases that will maintain the health in the level of good health. Yep. So in terms of healthcare, what we are not going to do, and what are the projects that we have? One of the projects that we are driving or participating is ActiveAge, active aging well. And we have 9 use cases. The idea here is activity is medicine. So before you even get sick, before you even go to the doctor, you want to extend your health period. And you know, everybody, when we go aging, these health problems come more often. But by using these IoT devices, we can enhance or we can enlarge this one. So this is the, let's say, the fragility scale. And in particular, we are focusing the level 3 to 6. So beyond the 6 is when you start to have some pills, have some medication, and we are not addressing that moment. So we are trying to enlarge this period of health. Essentially, what we call is the carpet of aging. So if your carpet is very waving, you will have problems in health. But if your carpet is very flat, then you will have good aging and long life. So this is what we are doing in Europe in terms of this carpet of living or aging well. So how we are going to do with all these devices, right? Because nobody will carry on, or nobody want to carry on 6 devices or 4 devices. So essentially what we are doing is implementing technologies that can collect this data automatically from your devices, from your daily based devices. You don't have to acquire new devices, you don't have to acquire new technologies to efficiently do this one. So we have 9 pilots under this philosophy, and each of these pilots or locations in Europe focus in different aspects. So for example, daily activity monitoring, tracking activity monitoring systems, also integrated care, when you already have some prescriptions and you have to visit different specialists, how to share this data with them. Also the monitoring assisted persons outside home. So as I mentioned before, most of the problems when you go to the hospital is there is no capacity to serve you. But by using these technologies that I will describe and we'll make a short demonstration, you can be away from the hospital and still with the care of the hospital or the caretakers. Then also we have activity promotion. As I said, activity is health. So by counting calories, I forgot to mention I also have this one. This is just to see my calories and my health status, evaluating with all this data. So this cognitive stimulation, also humans need to be aware of this one, right? So this is very well known in this watch. When I'm sitting at my office, when I'm sitting in a conference, immediately feel some vibration and said, you have been sitting for more than two hours. Please stand up and breathe 10 times. Or according to this one, according to my profile, my age, my health, my weight, it estimates this one. All this information is collected and using for different analytics. So prevention of social isolation. So by having all this technology, we are getting isolated humans. So many times you go into a dinner, into a date, and instead of chatting, you are texting each other. So this is one of the problems in active age that is also affecting your health. Remember, the wheel of well-being needs to be a balance. Also, the social part is important. And we want to avoid that. Safety, comfort, and safety at home. So many fragile people that are not having parents or relatives together are suffering this problem, particularly when you are aging, you have faults, you have problems, nobody is there to help you. And the 911 doesn't work because you cannot walk to the phone, and you don't have the phone charged or something like that. So we will use IoT technologies to detect this one. Sensor networks, sensors in your home can give us that information. Support for transport and mobility, same thing. So when you go to the city, when you go to the urban areas, you will have sensors that will be using that information in your favor, in your personalized activities. So how realistic is this one? And this is not a research project. This is an innovation project. One second. The difference is we have products in each of the pilots, like these ones, that are out of the shelf or are in the development phase, that we will precisely to connect to these technologies. And instead of having different solutions, different providers, we will have one, which is ActiveAge platform. And in this context, we will have all the services around for serving the aging society. How we are doing this one, or how we can achieve this challenge or this objective. So we have sensors in any of your use cases, either wearables or at home or in the city, connected to a specific platform, data platform. And here, when you can imagine, is a data center. And we will have different technologies. We don't have to go into these details because it is too low level. But you can have Wi-Fi connection, Bluetooth, which are the most common ones, and new emerging technologies like LoRa and Sigfox. So all this one in the context of these different 9 pilots. So we have also an engine or engines to do analytics, to study your personalized profile, and this is what we call mHealth, personalized healthcare. And then we have the solutions on top of that, with specific goals for treatments, for healthcare, for medical. We are not talking about prescription yet, because we are not trying to substitute the role of medical doctors. We are here to assist the medical doctors in terms of this analysis. So many times doctors are so busy that they can just give you 10 minutes of their time. Please take these pills, go home and tell me what you have next week. It's better to have continuous monitorization of what is the evolution of your health. And this is going to be the assistant element of the IoT, of the technology. How we are going to achieve this one? As I said, it's an innovation project. The companies that are involved, big firms, even a proprietary of this technology, they are willing to use these technologies for the benefit of the ecosystem. Now I will go to the more practical side. This is an ecosystem called mHealth. It's a company. This is the mHealth blood pressure monitoring system, and this is the mHealth activity record. And I also have I forgot to bring it because I have it at home, the sleeping monitoring mHealth. That helps me to sleep better, in theory. I don't know. I sleep very few hours, to be honest, but hopefully that will help me to improve my sleeping time. So this is already an app. It has already its application. It's very common and it's free to use. Yeah. And here you can see blood pressure, activity, sleeping time in real time, according to this one. And what we have done is connect this one to a larger ecosystem, which is ActiveAge. So we have here the inputs, which is the information on the left. We have the option to give it private or public. This is what you will have as difference of these ones. Usually these ecosystems are closed. They don't want to share this data, or they are not allowed to share this data. But in here you have the option to select which data you will share and which data will remain in your phone or in your database, in your data storage, in your repositories. And then you have enabled devices that will transport this one into a different engines for data annotation, data engines, analytics, and so on and so forth. And of course, we will have the ActiveAge Center that will provide some additional services. In our center in Dangan Road, so we have the idea of living labs, so which is a technology that demonstrates what is happening in real time without being a product in the market. So we are already thinking in having a kiosk or a health monitoring kiosk using ActiveAge that will monitorize your vital signs, nothing to do with sensitive data. It's just vital signs like blood pressure, oxygen sensor, or weight. We also have a scale with same brands. And why not, from time to time, you just come bypass, visit the kiosk, check your vital signs. If there is some anomalies, we can inform, and maybe you can be visiting the doctor. But this is kind of the technology that we use. We have some platforms, OpenIoT, that connects devices to the network, to the cloud. We have Vitalos, which is an operating system that is a system of systems. You don't need to know the technologies. You just need to connect your data. And then we have ActiveAge, which is what we are developing at the moment in the project. And we have on top a visualization tool that I will just show you now in terms of demonstration. Okay, this is the design, and this is how it looks like. This is very similar to the poster because Akil Kazmi is here. He submitted a poster because this is the idea, design, and the prototype that we have. I am kind of a demonstrator of his research. And then we are following, of course, medical terminology because this is the typical question. Are you creating another standard? Are you creating another ecosystem apart of the current ones that are in the market? No. So we are taking the medical aspects that you are more well aware of this one. So I will quickly swap to the demonstration. As any demo, if it fails, don't blame on me, please. But it's a demo. So this is the portal of the Vital operating system. It initially was designed for smart cities. Now we are adapting this technology for healthcare. This also is a proof of concept that we can extend our technologies. In here we have different systems. This is a Vital PPI MOTES. It's sensors that are in our smart building, sensing temperature, humidity, noise, and CO2. This is a Net Atmo. This is a weather station that sends wind chill temperature. Also in the inside building, you can come visit us and you will see all this deployment in real time. We have already 2 years, 3 years working with these systems permanently, 24/7. And the middle of these ones are mHealth. Now all these devices pushing data to this platform. The Polar is this one. This is the VMPs that I am collecting. And also the Sanitas. Sanitas is kind of the strongest insurance company and medical sector company that's putting. They also have devices. This is Sanitas brand. We have Scale. And where else is Sanitas? Well, we have other devices as well. And then we have the Mili. Oh, this is very interesting because maybe you will be on holidays and you will be interested about sunburn, about your skin. So this is a new device in the market. It's called Mili. That is a UV ray sensor. So it's like you can use it as a bracelet, you can use it as a tag, you can put it in your umbrella, and you personalize your type of skin, the age, and automatically calculates or estimates, more than calculates, the time that you can be under the sunlight. So this is information that will preserve your quality of health. And as I said, this is a well-being project. With all this combination, we can also know. So because if you suffer sunburns in 10 years' time, then the doctors will be aware, oh, remember that when you were in 2010, 2017 in the sunburn, now it's affecting your skin. All these records will be part of this. It's not sensitive information, it's just data that will be available. So how it works? So so far the system is running. When it's not running, it's a yellow here because there is some technical problem. If it's disconnecting physically, it's maybe a red because there is a physical. I will just open this one, which is mHealth, the one that I am wearing. And here we can see if everything goes well. This is slow because the internet connection. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, security by design. So I have to now log in. Of course, it's not test, it's a very secure password. Okay, here we are, not now. Okay, here we are. So let's see the Motes, Net Atmo, Polar. Well, you see, as every demo, the mHealth now is down. I cannot see the, but I can see the Sanitas, which is the other system that we have here. This is mHealth. This is Sanitas. So what we will get in this user interface is the location of the system. As it's a mobile phone or a mobile device, you can see where is it located. You can also see the latest reading or the latest information in real time. You can also see the activity of the platform or the battery in the system. Hopefully it will come. Okay, so here is the location, and here are some services that we can get, and it's just updating this one. The type of technology that is provided, the memory usage, the system load is currently low because it's not working with the internet. If there is some errors in the data or the type of data, it's throughput and errors rate. And as soon as this is active, it starts to be updated in terms of information. So let's leave it some seconds and see if it changes. As you can see, this is dependent on the internet. So we're talking about futuristic systems without solving the core problem, which is the internet access. But this is another project, probably. Okay, you see there's one available here at the moment, which is probably this device that I was testing before the presentation, my biometricals. Okay, all this information is collected from different platforms, and one of the aspects that I observed from Marta's presentation is that they are also working in web applications on top. So they want to avoid people to go to different phones and different applications, which is also complementary to this. We are not working in the web applications, we are working in the back-end technologies that can support these applications, for example. So that will be kind of a source of information that can connect or can provide this one. This is where the companies are interested as well. Yeah, because this is the main aspect of business in terms of technologies. For the sake of time, and because this is really slow at the moment with the network, I will just go back to the slides to conclude some aspects in terms of the presentation. So what we are building in ActiveAge is an ecosystem itself: technology, data, platforms, users, and of course, technology providers. And we are following the principles of an ecosystem. Services as a main objective, users in the center, user-centric approach, and we have data management. We are the managers or the leaders in data management in the consortium, and we have these cases, use cases in the different sites. So what is important also to highlight is that this is a very complex landscape. So we are not pioneers, we are not the first one in doing this one, but at least what we are doing is try to integrate technologies like Internet of Things, which is something that is now in the market, and it will come and will stay for the rest of our lives. I'm not saying IoT is the way to go, but IoT will be like the cloud today. 7 years ago, in 2010, when people started to talk about cloud computing, cloud systems, well, wow, what is that? All my data, my pictures in the cloud? No, I don't want to share that. But now everybody's using it. It's like transparently for us. So IoT will be the same situation. So we'll have IoT technologies in the back end. People will talk about IoT as today we talk about cloud. And we will have all this medical ecosystem working in these cloud and IoT systems in parallel. So we have some base technologies, OpenIoT, Fiber, SensiNAC, Sophia, and Universal. There are just some technologies that we have in the consortium, and these are the kind of the sensors that we have. Of course, there is a lot of more information. I just try to synthesize the presentation to give the message of how we can use technologies and big data. The big data comes with the analytics and all the production. Imagine all our data being put into the same ActiveEdge server, and then we do analytics in real time, or for serving our healthcare. So I am open for questions. I think we have some few questions. And thank you.